that cross court.
Tanone will have a chance to end it, and she stopped. The combination of Wilcox and Chapin put up a wall.
Wow, what a double block there. They really got up there, had just like their coach had told them to do in the huddle, is to get that block up, and they did. Double block straight down.
We'll try Anderson, and the freshman ends it for Lake Worth Christian. Identical scores of 25-22 in sets 1 and 3 in favor of the defenders. Coming into the championship match, St. John Lutheran had only dropped 2 sets all season against 2A competition. They've dropped 2 sets here this afternoon, trailing 2-1 as we head to the 4th set in the 2A final. Two sets to 1 advantage for Lake Worth Christian as we head toward the 4th set of the 2A championship match. And it's been freshman Maddie Anderson that has delivered for the defenders. 19 kills in the match, including 9 in that 3rd set.
She is just on fire. She's just lighting it up every time she gets a chance to attack the ball. She's putting the ball down. If it's not that, she's doing a very smart, effective play, spotting the openings and going right for it.
And we're seeing her succeed from every front row position. On the other side, Leah Wilcox has been outstanding. She's got a match-high 21 kills for St. John Lutheran.
Leah Wilcox is so impressive. She's playing all over the court, very consistent. She's just steady. She's a steady attacker and hard to stop. It's hard to block her, and vice versa for Maddie Anderson.
Those two have combined for 40 kills in the match. It's Lake Worth Christian up 2 sets to 1. Right now, Sports Network Press Box gives you the latest sports news from Tampa Bay and Central Florida every weeknight at 7 and 11 p.m. It's everything you need to know about the top stories of the day. Plus, panelists from radio, TV stations, and newspapers discuss the hottest topics of the sports world. Press Box every weeknight at 7 and 11, only on Bright House Sports Network. Now, the team that is currently on St. John Lutheran's side of the net has won all 3 sets. Villegas sprawled to get that ball up, but Grosvenor could not keep it in play. So the first point to Lake Worth Christian on Maddie Anderson's 20th kill of the match. You got to figure if you're St. John Lutheran, you cannot afford to get behind here in this 4th set.
Right, these points are pivotal. Every point matters to them. They've got to come out with aggression.
Emily Lampman got a piece of it. All ended up 4 rows behind our broadcast position. You get into a spot when your season's on the line, everything will be magnified.
Right, the adrenaline rush is real. You know, you want it, so you're going to do whatever you have to do.
Thomas is everywhere in this rally for St. John Lutheran. Thought she had a block, couldn't get a point on a kill. And here's a point for the Saints off the right arm of Leah Wilcox.
Leah Wilcox, another smart play. That was a deep roll shot. She didn't do a full-blown swing on that. She just placed the ball right where it needed to be in the back corner of the court.
7th time this season that Wilcox has recorded 20 or more kills. She's now got 22. Anderson got blocked twice. Play stays alive. Poor first contact from Grosvenor. St. John Lutheran free balls it over. And there's Anderson. Pounded it off the hands of Kaylee Thomas.
Kaylee Thomas did a great block there. She had her hands up, but Maddie Anderson so strong, and she just pushed the ball over the block onto the hit off the side of her hand.
Thomas can't find the floor. Emily Lampman once again there defensively, as has been the case for most of the afternoon. Shed back to Anderson. Hit that ball as she was coming down. another ball handling error called against St. John Lutheran. It's been a huge story for the Saints.
She was pushing back on her back foot, you could see, and the ball, like you said, was starting to spin, which you could see she didn't release it in enough time to get it up there.
That's the 8th ball handling error whistled against St. John Lutheran. Crowd looking for a call there. They didn't get it. St. John Lutheran awarded the point. Tied at 3 early in the 4th set. Lake Worth Christian up 2-1. Defenders won the 1st and the 3rd by identical 25-22 scores. Shed pushes it outside, and there's a ball handling error called against Lake Worth Christian, a double contact on the defender's setter.
We haven't seen many of those, so you know it's been pretty clean on for Lake Worth so far.
Shed with a bump set for Anderson. Got it around the block, but not down.
Perfect connection to Sarah Franklin, the 8th grader, who's in middle front. That was a shoot set over the net, and here she comes out, and it's a high and just enough time for her to hit the deep corner.
Franklin's been relatively quiet since the opening set. Had 2 kills in the first. She's had 2 since. And Maddie Anderson delivers an ace. Second ace for Anderson. First year playing volleyball for Lake Worth Christian, ineligible a season ago. And yet to turn 14 years old. Thomas made contact on the way down, couldn't get much on it as a result. And for the second time, Hannah Tonone attacks from the back row.
I'm confused by that call. And I think Coach Kaiser is too.
Trying to get an explanation from Teresa Leonard. And the call's going to stand. Anderson with the bump set. Tonone shoves it deep into the court toward Chaffin. Thomas had to adjust. Did well just to get that ball across. Anderson pounds it into the net. And Yo Maurice Villegas gets a block for St. John Lutheran.
You can see a great bump set there, but look at the hand. Well, it didn't even cross over, so they were excited, but I don't think it even cleared the net.
Anderson can't get to that pass from Emily Landman. I can't think of another time tonight that we have seen a bad pass in serve receive from Lampman.
I can see some of the St. John players really talking to each other, communicating a lot, saying, come on, let's go, get the ball. A lot of chatter on their court.
Yet another double contact whistled against the Saints. And if St. John Lutheran doesn't come back and win, that'll be something Jason Laborde looks back on as a part of the game that really cost his team.
You're right, those errors are so, you can't have them at this point.
An overpass, and Hannah Tonone lets it rip.
She's excited about that. She jumped up, that was a great ball. Came right over the net, and she attacked it, put it away.
Tonone on JV when Lake Worth Christian won its last state title in 2012. She wants to get a ring of her own. Thomas through the middle. There's such bounce in the 5'8" frame. Gets up in a hurry.
I like that. You can see the energy. She's got a lot of energy, and she's putting it out on the court.
Low serve that just skated across the tape. 8th grader Sarah Franklin was off balance for that attack. Easy point for St. John Lutheran. Anderson pushes it out to the pin. Tonone. Really good job by Malia Oliver popping that ball up. Anderson goes deep into the corner on 2.
What a play by Anderson. She could see that opening from where she was and right back and pushed the ball all the way with both of her hands, turned and pushed it there. Very effective, smart play there.
Villegas for Chaffin. Everybody plays defense on Lake Worth Christian, including Franklin, the 8th grader. And the net result is another point scored by Tanone.
Tanone jumping up, looked like she was going to really hit that ball hard, did a roll shot, and the blocker was already coming down, so it was caught in the net.
7 kills now for Tanone. Miscommunication. Kendall Berry had no idea that she was the person that's supposed to take that second ball.
And that's what St. John wants, is them to be out of communication here and to get some points on the board there. But you really have to stay playing steady because the next ball is coming.
Wilcox.
What an attack by Wilcox. She sees that she's got an advantage there, right there over that block, and puts it down.
Good pass from Lampman. Anderson from the back row. That finds the floor. Kaylee Thomas has been sideline to sideline in the back row.
Just this rotation, I know Coach Kaiser's happy to be out of this rotation. This is that one rotation before where, you've got the setter, you've got Morgan Chet up at the net and Wilcox up at the net. So you've got a really big hitter.
Anderson is now rotated back into the front row. Attack error by Tanone. St. John Lutheran has been up for most of the 4th set. Right now the margin is 2, 12-10. Lampman with a bump set. Anderson. Shed had a long run. Set up Tanone. Thomas stuck a hand out.
A beautiful set by Shed. Like you said, she had a long run to that ball, and she had her hands up. Beautiful. Put that ball right up like we call that a marshmallow, and she put it away.
Tapped over by Wilcox. Was all she could do. Anderson pounds it off the double block. Chaffin and Wilcox were both there. Savvy play by Maddie Anderson.
Great savvy play is right. She using that block is something that most older players and even collegiate players do. So very, very impressive.
Anderson comes through again.
Maddie Anderson, her timing is just impeccable. Every time she can adjust to any set, anywhere, and that's what makes her an outstanding hitter.
3 in a row for Lake Worth Christian. We're running out of superlatives for freshman Maddie Anderson. There's her older sister, Cassie. That's into the St. John Lutheran bench. Now 4 in a row for Lake Worth. And a timeout for St. John Lutheran.
Cassie Anderson, a lot of power on her ball too, just as well. A lot of power on the outside.
Anderson is in double digits with 10 kills. Show you the road to Orlando for Lake Worth Christian, a much more challenging part of the bracket. And they're a team that's faced a challenging schedule as well. Not afraid to step up and play 8A competition. You see 4 matches against 8A teams. Losses to Park Vista and Boca Raton. A lot of people thought Boca Raton would be the representative from the South here in Class 8A, but they got upset by Jupiter. All 4 losses for Lake Worth Christian coming to schools 6A or higher.
I think that just shows you the level of play where these girls are. They're very, they've been playing and they could play against any school.
And not only playing against those teams, but it took a set from Boca, took a set from Jensen Beach, which is the favorite in the 6A championship match, hanging with those great programs as well.
You can just see, I think a lot of it just comes from their heart and their coach and what they're learning on the court and how to communicate and move the ball around.
Wilcox unloaded on that ball, but it couldn't find the floor. Lampman continues her defensive wizardry in the back row. Anderson free balls it over. Wilcox. What a point this would be for Lake Worth Christian if they can get it. Contact with the net made by Chaffin. Long rally goes to Lake Worth Christian, and that was a deflating point for St. John Lutheran.
Big momentum change for, you've got Lake Worth really excited.
Tanone a little too amped up for that serve. So difficult in situations like these, but you have to calm your nerves. Find a way to play within yourself.
You do. You have to, especially when you go behind the line to serve.
About the roll shot from Tanone all the way in the back row.
A great, great smart attack right there. I mean, that's one of those plays where it's just so effective and you're looking at the whole court and taking advantage of the spot.
Villegas called for a double contact. Now if you're St. John Lutheran, you really have to try your best not to look up at that scoreboard and think about the end, but very difficult.
Yeah, coach did not like that call for St. John. I think just frustrated knowing that they need to get some points on the board. Great tip there.
That was Kaylee Thomas. Makes it a 3-point margin, 17-14, as Wilcox rotates to the back row to serve. Important stretch for St. John Lutheran with Wilcox in the back row. There's a block from Thomas, but it is just wide.
A great attempt at that block, and it just went out a little bit. You can see she wanted it, had her hand. Had she turned her hand in a little bit, it would have come in the inside.
See where St. John Lutheran goes right here. Thomas was calling for it, gets it, and she's blocked.
You've got Sarah Franklin in the middle on that play, an 8th grader.
Young players stepping up for Lake Worth Christian. You can see the emotion on the face of Terry Kaiser. We'll listen into the Lake Worth Christian huddle.
We got to stay with our head. All right, if we make a good play, make the next play. Okay, if we make a bad play, make the next play. Whatever, focus, right now, focus. All right, we got this. We got to get 1 point at a time now. Let's go, it's not over. Not over at all. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Here we go, Tim's coming. Hey, Tim's coming.
It's been an emotional season for Kaiser and the defenders. Mentioned that she essentially walked into the first week of practice and told her players that she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She said all year she doesn't want it to be about her. She wants the players to play for themselves, but they have certainly carried her diagnosis with them throughout the season, and so much of the emotion that has been in this playoff run has been associated with her battle.
Right, it's like big lessons in life for these young kids. She has a young team, and they've got one of the best coaches in the state of Florida, so there's such a respect there.
Cross-court shot, well executed by Brooke Turner. Haven't called her name often. Senior right side. Not many older players on this St. John Lutheran team that contribute.
Play. She pulled that ball right in the inside, on the inside of the block. Hard for Maddie to get to that ball.
19-15, St. John Lutheran trying to build some momentum and get back in it. Their season on the line.
Sisters right there, sisters with the play. That was a big one. She set up her sister right there and put it away.
Defenders now just 5 points away. Thomas can't put it down. Lampman once again is there. Grosvenor with the set, an attack error from Chaffin, showing some frustration at the end of that play.
I know Coach Laborde is frustrated with that. That was a free ball, which you rarely see Lake Worth give a free ball. I don't know that we've seen that very often.
On the right side, it's Thomas.
Great swing, great approach by Thomas. She is fighting every point here, right over the block, right down the middle. Great play.
The team's got to dig out of a 5-point hole. Anna Tonone. Villegas was just a little bit too far off the net. Otherwise, that's a stuff block.
Right, you're right. She came off the net too quickly, and she knew she had it and then tried to grab, get the ball out of the net. It's too late. But the power coming from the outside is also hard. Sometimes your hand, you cannot push against that powerful ball.
Shedd and Anderson come together. Chaffin. Anderson keeps it in play. 3-balled over by Franklin.
What a save.
The tip from Thomas does not make it across the tape. The longer the rallies have gone, the better Lake Worth Christian has been.
You can see what fire Thomas has in her eyes. That was a smart thought that she saw that hole and she couldn't get it, but she's coming right back at it.
Cassie Anderson, the bump set to Tonone. Given little chance. Fortunate to just kind of shove that ball against the hands of Villegas. And it results in a block.
Villegas got that block after all. She wanted that block. She had her hands up. She had 2 of them, in both of those last blocks. Perfect place.
Shedd, back set to Tonone. Thomas runs it down. Here's Wilcox. Down the line, Lampman once again is there.
Lampman, great up by Lampman.
Anderson is called for a double. And the right call.
A right call, yep. What a great rally, though, with Lampman in the backcourt, saving that ball. Maddie Anderson helping her, and then you've got the Saints over here just really wanting and fighting for every point.
Shedd, back set to Tonone. Popped up. That could have been a double as well. No call. Lampman 3-balls it across the net. Teams trying to settle themselves down here. Everybody out of system. Chaffin shoves it down. Villegas back to Wilcox. Didn't get much of an approach. It doesn't go down. Wilcox with another swing, and it's a kill.
Wow, what a rally. Coach Kaiser sees that momentum shifting, and the team, Wilcox getting her hand on that ball. So now, timeout.
St. John Lutheran has scored 3 in a row. They've been carried all season by their 2 junior outside hitters, Leah Wilcox and Kaylee Thomas, both with more than 400 kills. And given the competition that St. John Lutheran has faced, the hitting percentages are both very, very impressive.
They are impressive. And watching these 2 girls play, I'm very impressed by both of them. They're very steady, consistent. They consistently get the kills. They're all over the place. They're hitting consistently from the backcourt, from the pins, everywhere. It's a very, both of these girls, I've seen some great defense by them as well.
I figure St. John Lutheran can pencil them in for next year to play for a state title, but their focus is on this year, trying to go back-to-back and dig themselves out of a 4-point hole. Tonone. Grosvenor was there defensively, and Wilcox unloads to bring the Saints back within 3.
Wow, you aren't kidding. She did unload on that ball. That was with a lot of power and a lot of aggression.
Shedd bump set for Anderson. Villegas on 2. Anderson was right there.